Hello and welcome. I'm Jane Montrose. I'm here with my wonderful friend and companion for exploring all things spiritual, which we do often on Sundays, Gretchen Comer. We help awakening souls like you to increase your emotional and spiritual intelligence by accessing your full range of resources. This is kind of that's a mouthful, um, but we'll explain it as we go along. Today, our focus is on the magic of the new moon. We often discuss the new moons and the full moons when they're occurring when we're together, and it's very profound. It's really meaningful. Many people wouldn't relate today's topic to emotional and spiritual intelligence, but the fact is, we're all influenced energetically by the seasons, by actually the phases of the moon, and also by other things like storms and droughts and natural occurrences that are affecting us in wherever we are. So it is meaningful. And if we ignore what's actually happening, to me, the way I perceive it at least, if we ignore what's happening during these times, like the new and full moons particularly, we're missing something that actually, if we focus on it, we can perceive and benefit from. So that's what we're talking about today. So we're going to welcome this new moon with a new moon reading, which will be something that is appropriate for us collectively. And also the reading is designed so that it's something you can use with any new moon, and also along with a focus specifically on the new moon that you're in, as we're in this one new moon in Cancer. So today we're going to do a reading. We'll do a 3-card reading for us collectively on this new moon, and allowing us, it's also, the new moon is a magical time. So it's a way that we can all benefit collectively from the magic and celebrate the magic of the new moon. And then we'll do an Akashic record reading. Gretchen and I will go into our Akashic records for the collective and share insights that we receive there, which is what we generally do. Also, then we'll, as time allows, do readings for viewers who are with us and would like to receive insights more specifically for you. So it's exciting, as it always is. I personally, I love magic. So thinking of the new moon as a magical time, it's often perceived as a time when the veil between this world and other worlds is at its thinnest. That's one thing you could say. It's the time of the month when we really can most easily connect with other realms. It's exciting. So we'll start here with Gretchen. She's going to share a little bit, I think, about what this means to her and just anything that you want to say, Gretchen, about the new moon. So
sure.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, the new moon time is really exciting because it's a time of starting over. It's a time of new beginnings. It's a time of fresh starts. And so it's also a time of planting seeds. My husband is busily planting seeds today, working with the lunar phase. So it's the beginning of a new cycle, essentially, is what it is. You can see it as that, not just of a moon cycle, but symbolically, it is a new cycle for us as well. And like you were saying, Jane, we are very affected by those natural rhythms, of nature. And so it would make sense that planetarily, we're also affected by the celestial bodies as well. And so with the new moon, it's interesting because it brings in kind of its own fresh energy, also in accordance with whatever astrological sign that we'll also talk about it is relating to in that moment. So for example, like right now we are in astrologically, we are in the sun sign of Cancer right now. It's between June 21st and July 22nd. So we are also in a Cancer new moon. So we can talk more about that, but it's like a double impact essentially. And if you fall under the Cancer sign as a sun sign, it's also important. So with new moon energy, it's about bringing in not only some fresh energy, the new beginning energy, but it's a great time to start things. It's a great time to start new projects. It's a great time to take that leap into the unknown. And the moon, the lunar energy is going to be supporting you in all of that, because as the days go on, like the new moon was on the 5th. So we are actually in the waxing moon, essentially the very beginning stages of the waxing moon. So it's like we've planted the seed in the ground and it's just starting to crack open with its little green tendrils coming out. We can't see that yet. We can't see the magic that we're manifesting just yet. And that's okay. It needs to incubate essentially in that dark quiet, that we can also tune into too. So it's also about, it's not a frenetic time of energy, like the full moon. We get towards the full moon and it's like, oh, it's so much energy. And a lot of us can feel that. But with the new moon, it's a softer, gentler beginning. You don't go crashing into the new cycle. It's it's a softer landing essentially. So it's a great time to kind of ease into new things too. It doesn't mean we have to immediately make changes in our lives. We can take small steps that work towards and build like the energy does towards the full moon. So at the beginning of the cycle, it's a good time to be gentle with ourselves too. We're starting new things, be gentle. I have a girlfriend that just started a new workout program and she said she was so sore. Her muscles are so sore. And she said, why did I start this on the new moon? I should have started at the new moon. I wouldn't have been so hard on myself. And worked out too hard to where I'm in pain now. But it's a part of kind of rolling with that energy, flowing with that energy. It's important. So just paying attention to it and knowing that this is a good time to start new things gently and easily is also helpful to whatever we want to do right now.
Right. Right. And it just, to me, if you want to, you could say, make the most of the intelligence that you have emotionally and spiritually, it makes a lot of sense to be in harmony with actually these energies that are flowing around us.
Right.
And understand what we're being invited to, or how we're invited to perceive things and to live in the moment during those times. Another one is the Mercury retrograde. There are things like that also that impact us, different things that are going on with the planets. And I've found it really valuable to understand that. We don't have to go into that now, but that and other astrological events that are impacting us, whether we know it or not. So to me, it's like, why not know it?
Right.
Yeah. I got this deck, the Moonology Oracle cards, which I don't use them actually. I don't draw cards usually from them, but it explains all of the different facets of the moon and what different kinds of different special moons mean. So I'm going to just read what it says about the new moon in Cancer, so we can connect in a little more with that. Oh, before I do that, I forgot about opening the chat here. So I see Babs is here. Welcome, Babs. It's wonderful to see you. It says the new moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. So this is like double emotion. So if you're feeling, and this would be an example, if you're feeling, gosh, I'm feeling really emotional right now and I don't understand it, this might be a helpful understanding to have. Saying that this moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer. It's one of her 2 home signs, meaning the moon's home signs, along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, when you pull this card, which is irrelevant here, it suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. So that's an interesting thought too, is that, so what is it I want to focus on in this new beginning, because it's going to, the energy is working on my behalf right now. So it's especially positive for family matters. And I know, Gretchen, you know a lot about the different lunar phases too. Do you want to say more about the new moon in Cancer?
Yeah, in particular, Cancer is interesting because it's ruled by the moon, which is also ruled by the water sign. Cancer is a water sign. It really demonstrates the ability to go between the emotional and the material, or the earthly essentially. The actual animal for Cancer is a crab. So that also kind of proves, that it can go into the ocean and back onto land. And it shows that resilience, that flexibility. So there's a lot when it comes to Cancer, especially in a new moon phase. There's a lot of really good wisdom to that, and it can increase our connection to our emotions. So if you're somebody that is not really in tune with your emotions, this is a great time. It's easier. You're more in harmony, like you were saying, right. You're more in harmony with those feelings. But it can also heighten those of us who are sensitive. So if you're empathic or sensitive, it can also kind of heighten that emotional field as well. The best thing to do is to take it and pace it, take a deep breath. If you're feeling emotional, calm your emotions. But it's also a great time in the new moon to process your emotions, because a lot of what we want in life, our manifestation is geared around how we feel about our world around us and how we feel towards our goals. So the new moon essentially can put us in the right headspace to start new things, but we need to bring a clear emotional field along with us. We don't want to have it all cluttered with a lot of negativity or issues that we may have. So it's a good time to process your feelings as well. And then of course, be gentle with yourself while you're doing that. And the water is also a soothing aspect. So the fact that we're in a Cancer new moon, you may be experiencing emotions that you don't know why, but the water has a soothing effect as well. So it's encouraging us to be gentle with ourselves as we're going through what we're going through, and to understand that this is the good time to do it. It puts us in essentially the right headspace to start whatever it is we want to do. So
right. And I would add, also be gentle with others. To understand other people are going through the same thing. And I think if we're looking at being intelligent about how we lead our lives, being sensitive to these experiences, both for us and for everyone around us, is really helpful.
Right. Agreed.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think I'm going to start the reading. And we have this wonderful deck. This is a new one, actually, for both of us. Actually, I've used this maybe once. I'm going to switch over to my other camera so that you can see as we go along. And what we're using here, which I thought the reason I thought of it today is it's the Moon and Stars Tarot. And this the card in the corner here, this is from the Moonology Oracle card. So I put it here, it's just like here to set our intention of focusing on this new start that we're in. That's our focus. And I'm going to take this away. I'm going to draw 3 cards. I have this, one of my favorite readings is Central Focus, What to Release and What to Embrace. And I'm going to do a variation on it for this. So it is, for the central focus, it is what new beginning you can focus on, what is new for you that is actually being supported right now, so you can be starting it, because you still have a little time to plant those seeds. And like Gretchen said, the moon was a couple days ago, but we're not that far into it.
Right.
So I have the cards all laid out here, and what I do is I just focus on which one is the one. And this deck is very simple, because this is interesting. Because it has a very simple image, and then it has a keyword. So this is the star, which is a really bright card, a wonderful bright card. And the keyword is inspiration. So the suggestion, what I would see in this, is that we're being asked to focus on whatever is inspiring us. And it is, I think the new moon is a time, you could say, of opening to your intuitive sense of what is your new beginning, not like what I should be doing. It's like, what do you really feel inspired toward? So what do you think, Gretchen?
Yeah, I think that's really self-explanatory. And the star also supports the intention card that you pulled out too, and the fact that this deck is the moon and stars. I think that's beautiful. But I think
Right.
for inspiration, it's perfect. It's exactly what we're looking for essentially at the new moon, you know, to be inspired, to start new things. So I think it's a beautiful supportive card.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It made me smile just right
Yeah.
away when I saw it. I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. And something I like about doing the readings is we already started with information. So we had some awareness of it, but it seems like the readings just bring things into clearer focus.
Mhm.
And this actually is it's just beautiful because the star is a bright positive card, and that's
Mhm.
kind of what the message was for this particular new moon too, is that it's favorable for our intentions. So that's
Right. And
exciting.
inspiration is such an expansive word too. It just
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel kind of free and expanded. It's a beautiful place to start, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a
Right.
task. It's a,
No.
you know,
No.
yeah,
And that's good.
right, right.
Yeah. And there's Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Good to see you. So I'm going to go on next to um, the card for what I have usually on the left side is what to release. And we could say maybe what we might need in preparation for this, what we might want to open to in preparation for acting on our inspiration. And it could be something maybe this would require some release. This is interesting. The Queen of Wands, charisma.
Hmm.
And of course, the Queen of Wands is like that. The wands are the fire element, so it's like what's awakening in you, what's wanting more energy. It is like the fire is the energy, and the queen is the feminine uh, representation of the actualization of
Mhm.
that suit.
Right, right.
And so she's opening to charisma. That's what I'm getting. You know,
Yeah.
what do you think, Gretchen?
Yeah, to me, charisma is an interesting word because it's like it's unique to everybody. So it's like bringing forth our unique flavor or our unique brand or style of how we want to inspire or be inspired. So I feel like it goes along beautifully. Charisma is something that's just personal and unique to each of us. We all have our own level of charisma, but it also is a kind of an exciting word too. You know, like you have the power and energy to do this, you know, so
Mm-hmm.
that's wonderfully supportive to the inspiration card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And somehow to me, I'm relating it to magic again too. It's
Hmm.
like this
Sure.
all this energy and
Yeah.
actually I think when we are expressing our aliveness, it is charismatic. I
Yes.
mean, it is
Yes.
magnetic.
Hmm.
People, we draw other people to us, although that isn't our purpose necessarily, but it is a wonderful thing to open to that kind of energy. And of course, the Queen of Wands to open to that fullness of the fire within us. And it is, of
Right.
course, we're in midsummer too.
Right. Exactly. And the
Right.
queen is like the culmination of it's what word am I looking for? It's basically getting to that point. This is not like a page of wands or a you know, where you're more at the beginning. This is a
Right.
queen of wands. So it means that you've mastered some things in your life, and essentially you can use that with your own charisma. So I think that that's a beautiful, it's basically saying you've got everything you need on board, essentially, you know, to do what you
Mm-hmm.
want.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And that's beautiful too, to know that, to
Hmm.
to assure ourselves, because it is,
Right.
like you were saying, it's the mature aspect,
Right.
feminine
That's the word.
aspect of
That
that
was the
of
word.
that suit. Yeah. Right.
Mm.
So then the one we have now for the third card, I have the magic to make. And the card I have, which is flipping out here. Well, this is interesting. We have the world.
Oh, nice.
And that says completion,
Completion.
which is interesting.
Mhm.
And I don't know, Gretchen knows more about the seasons and everything than I do. We're since we're past the longest day of the year now, so we're in that time, we're in the midpoint of summer, really. Not midpoint, you might say, but really in the fullness of summer. But there are a lot of things maybe that are being completed at the same time. Would that make sense?
It does. And it can also speak to that there is something that will be completed within this next cycle as well. The Queen, speaking of maturity and having a lot of things on board already, inspiration is like breathing life into something too, and along with charisma, which you said is the fiery kind of passionate aspect. So I think it really is a validation of, like, being inspired, knowing that you have the energy and power to complete something and bringing it to full completion is essentially what we want to do within the cycle, within the new moon to full moon cycle, is bring things to completion. And that energy, if we work with it, will help us as it builds each day towards the full moon.
Right. And I guess it is potentially a time to plant seeds. You can be planting seeds any time of year, but we're past the spring season now. So we're actually, now things are growing and actually blooming and producing. So there's
it's
a sense of maturity to all of that too.
Right.
Like
it's an interesting.
It's actually mature, and the tomatoes are ripe.
Right.
Ready to
But
pick.
it's still not too late to plant things and still have them grow before the cold sets in. And I love this world card because it really has all four elements represented by the symbols in the corners there. So it really is about pulling in all of the elements essentially for completion. So yeah, that's a beautiful card.
Yeah. So it might be also to ask yourself, what is it that I have been wanting to complete? Because even though you could say it's a new beginning, it can be a new beginning, like, oh, I need to refocus on this project that I have half done. So I can maybe finish it this month.
Right, exactly. And these cards are supporting that endeavor. Really, they're supporting a lot of endeavors with the way these cards have laid out.
Yeah. Very interesting. And it is there's a lot of energy here. Also, we have out of 3 cards, we have 2 major arcana cards. And you could say the major arcana cards are, of course, like the major patterns, you could say, while the minor arcana are more like daily. And if you get one, you could say it's like putting an exclamation point on it. And like how the importance of it and the relevance of it.
Right. And these 2 major arcana cards are the higher numbers. We start often with 0 or the Fool or the Hanged one. That is a stage of beginnings, essentially. And so this is kind of like towards the completion of our journey. They're not the highest cards, but they're really close to being some of the highest number cards. And that too is a progressionary journey through the cards, essentially, when you get to the higher cards. So it really is speaking to, these are things that you already have on board, that you already are doing, essentially.
Right. And she suggests that too.
Right, exactly.
Which is interesting. When it is interesting when you put all the cards together, you really do get a story. I think when you use, and I just think these are so magical looking. I really,
I love her throne. The mountains.
Okay, so Gretchen, want to go into the records?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the other camera for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a group guided visualization going to a higher place in preparation for Gretchen and me to go into the records. It will also be an opportunity for those who are with us live or or at any time to lift your spirits to a place where you might be receiving more insights too. And then we'll be kind of building together on what we perceive. So it's exciting. It's all exciting.
Yes.
And maybe with the star card, we often go to a mountaintop. I think maybe we'll go up to a star today. Sounds like fun, doesn't it?
I like that.
Okay. Okay, so we start with breathing, and if you're in a place where it's safe to close your eyes, opening to all of the wonders of the universe that are coming together for us in this new beginning in the new moon in Cancer. So we're just opening to divine light, love, magic, miracles, joy, whatever energy you wish to receive that is going to help you to lift your spirits, because we're going right up into the universe today. Just breathing all of that in. And as you exhale, releasing, just letting go of anything you don't need right now, any energy that feels heavy. And of course, all of our guides and angels, teachers, all of the beings around us are supporting us, both in embracing and releasing as we breathe. And then with your intention, asking any energy that's not your own to leave your space. It could be energy from other people, places, times. Just send it all back where it came from, lovingly, to create more space within your field for your own energy. And you might feel that. You might feel lighter without all the, we pick up burdens from, well, societal impacts on things, other people, other places, as I mentioned. We can just ask all of that to leave us. And similarly, bring back any energy of our own we've left with other times, people, and places. Bring it back. Which brings us even more. It feels to me like it brings in some strength. So it's bringing in higher aspects of ourselves. So you might notice you feel calmer and more present in the moment from doing just those few things, which you can do anytime. And then opening, of course, to the love in our hearts as our guides as we prepare to go up into the higher dimensions. And then breathing in lighter energy, we can ask Archangel Metatron and any archangels you want to invite, any spirit guides to guide us and support us on this journey. I'm feeling like Archangel Orion. He's a cosmic archangel. So he can meet us up as we imagine ourselves rising. So we're rising up beyond even the mountaintop where we often go, poking through the atmosphere, which to me symbolizes often the mass consciousness thought forms, just freeing ourselves, which is the wonderful thing about going out into the universe and attaching yourself to a star. Whatever feels right for you. Maybe a star doesn't feel right. You think, oh, I'm not sure. Well, maybe a cloud. Whatever feels good for you. So just up in that place where we have a view of the entire universe around us, all of the stars are twinkling. Archangel Orion is with us. He's also an archangel who's known for prosperity and manifestation and opening to all the blessings that are here for us at this time of Cancer, when blessings are readily available. So just notice what you notice there as Gretchen and I go into our records. And Gretchen, let me know as you do that what comes into your awareness from the records.
So what I'm sensing right now is there is this beautiful pool of water in the floor of the records and the Akashic records, this beautiful swirling pool of water. And I'm being told this is kind of like the cosmic catalog. This is like where all things that are yet unformed, we want to put our energy into in order to manifest what we want to bring back to this world and bring into the material. And what I'm hearing is this is something that's available to everyone. You know, this is something that we can all step into, like a beautiful pool of water in the summertime. It's cool and refreshing, but yet it's made entirely of starlight. It's like the infinite possibility pool, the pool of possibility. um, but I'm also feeling like this is accessible through our own inspiration, and really feeling that card reading. I feel like it's coming into the records with me. It talks about the inspiration and really how we're all perceived as royalty, essentially, by our guides, by the ascended masters, by the angels. We are magnificent, and we are royalty, essentially. We are kings and queens in our own right. And all the things that we've accomplished in our lives, even for the things that we've not accomplished in our lives, the fact that we're still here and living and thriving and being part of this beautiful spiritual fabric of the world. But I feel in particular, this pool of starlight is like infinite possibility. It's a place where when we bring ourselves fully to our goals, to our manifestations, the inspiration becomes a flow. It becomes we essentially become the conduit for that flow. So we are bringing that energy into it. And it's a reminder to us that we have the strength, the power, the courage, all of that within us to manifest whatever it is we want to manifest, whatever it is we want to bring into our lives, to bring more joy and vibrancy into our lives. So I feel like I'm kind of hearing whispers of all of this around me while I'm looking into this beautiful pool of starlight. But to me, ultimately, it just feels like possibility, and that's accessible to all of us if we just bring ourselves fully to what it is we want to do. Put all of our energy, all of our feelings, all of our emotions into those things that bring us the joy and happiness and inspire us more creatively, that inspire and remind us of our magnificence. That
Wow,
was a
that's a
lot.
lot.
That was
Yeah.
a lot. Sorry.
No, I think it's beautiful. But
Sometimes I'm bombarded like that. So.
well, no, well, yes. I mean, that was really beautiful, and the first thing that came to me when as you were kind of closing your tongue, about putting all of ourselves into it, all of our energy. It just brings me back to that Queen of Wands, which is, it is being the master, or the master of the feminine aspect of the suit of wands. It is about a high degree of vibrancy, which is where that charisma comes from, I think.
Right.
And just opening to that. And I love that pool of starlight. And all of us can open to that pool right now, whatever that is for you. If you feel like bathing in the pool, or just allowing it to reflect back to you whatever message it has for you, just interact with it and open to that. Because what I sensed first, as Gretchen and I rose into that place and entered the records, was that it's like a portal is opening. And I suppose maybe that's true with every new moon, but it felt like a very powerful opening. And then you mentioned the pool of possibility, that pool, that starlight, which is, and interestingly, accessible through our inspiration.
Right.
So it's accessible by awakening to uh, the love, the joy, the vibrancy. And also it is in our heart, that flame, that threefold flame of the creator that resides in us. So this is an opportunity to open to what it means to be a creator, that we are creators, co-creators with God, with our creator. And we're being invited to support us to open to what's here in this pool of possibility. Just feels so beautiful to me.
Mhm. Feels
And
lovely.
I just also feel it's like starlight is raining down on us.
Mm.
Also, it's just huge blessings. And
Yeah,
Archangel,
enormous.
yeah, Archangel Orion says, I'm here to let you know, as Gretchen, as you were suggesting, you deserve this. You deserve to open to that vibrant you, to
That's why
believing that those most wonderful things that you imagine for yourself are possible.
the Akashic Records for me is a place of remembering. So
Mm-hmm.
I am often in that records being reminded of things that we inherently know, but may not always feel through our humanness, through our
Mm-hmm.
human nature. And that is
Right.
worthiness, that we are worthy and that we are magnificent. But in
Mm-hmm.
the Akashic Records, this is where we can be reminded of those beautiful things, and really bring that into form, bring that from one realm into our earthly realm to remind us and kind of anchor that into our everyday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful way to remind ourselves just how magnificent we are.
Right. Right. Yeah, I agree. And it is um that is the ultimate goal, is to embrace that magnificence that is us. And it's not like anyone is more special. It's just that we all of us are magnificent, uniquely magnificent. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Mm.
And Archangel Metatron also is thanking us for being open to embracing our potential, what really is possible for us and who we really are.
It makes their jobs a lot easier when we do.
Right. Well, that's what they're
Sorry.
trying to get us to do, right?
Right. Sorry, I just felt like this little wave of humor come through there. Like, well,
Right.
it'd help us a lot if you could remember how
Right.
magnificent you were.
Yeah.
We can spend time on other things now.
Right. Right.
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
So anything else before we come back and see
I'm
what
just
maybe
feeling
is
a
here for
sense
others?
of joy. Yeah, just feeling a sense
Hmm.
of joy and encouraging everyone to bring that into their lives today. Just that feeling of being held and blessed by the angels and the masters and all of our guides. It's just it's like a big warm hug. I love it.
Hmm. It is, right. Yeah. I love the pool of possibilities. I'll be
Mm.
remembering that. Starlight, a
Yeah.
pool of
All
starlight.
this
I've
swirling,
never
beautiful
really,
starlight, like liquid
yeah,
starlight. Yeah.
right. Yeah. It is beautiful.
Mm.
Okay, so with that, we're going to breathe in again, just to, I guess, to remember this, that this is here for us, because it's not just here for us in this moment. We can come back. You can come back anytime to this place. And with that, we're going to just start flowing back down to where we started, gently, beautifully. Might want to do a few. I'm feeling myself twirling around a little bit in space on the way back. Expressing that joy. And then noticing yourself in your seat or where you're resting, focusing on your feet being firmly connected to the ground or the earth, regardless of, you might be on an upper floor somewhere, you can still just envision yourself being connected to the earth, to Mother Earth, sending her your love and our love, and receiving. I always receive it back when I send it. I'd feel that coming up from the ground. Breathing in more active energy, returning to your normal waking state. Taking your time, just breathing, stretching, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Wow, that was that was really beautiful.
That was beautiful.
And it is interesting, that there was so much fullness in it, and we are in the fullness of the year. Another thing to realize and to appreciate that, because that too is not going to stay with us.
Mhm.
The days are, I keep thinking the days are becoming shorter now. And I love the long days and
Yeah.
The energy and everything of summer. But it's all part of, as mentioned in the Bible, to everything there is a season. It's all
Season. That's
part
what
of,
popped in my
right.
head just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Yep.
just what is right for us.
Mhm.
I see Sharon is here too. Wonderful. She said she couldn't get into the chat. Well, hopefully, I guess you got in. So welcome. And Babs says, wonderful, thank you for our meditation. So where are we time-wise? We have enough time. If anyone, what I thought for a reading is maybe to, I could draw a card for someone if you want to get a card that represents what's available in that pool of possibilities for you, something that might be there for you if you want. And if you want to have that little reading, just please respond in the chat so I can see, because I don't want to, I'm not forcing readings on anybody, but it's just like that pool of possibilities was so wonderful and opening to that star energy. Mm-hmm. Also, I think I thought that was very educational, reminding ourselves to, in this time of the new moon, to open to what inspires us, not what we should be doing.
Right. I think we're very task driven.
Right.
We're very task driven as humans. Tell us what to do next.
Right.
Sometimes we forget that we need to dream. We need to be inspired. We need to be receptive, and
Mm-hmm. Right. And
the moon brings that feminine energy too, the receptivity. Mm-hmm. So.
Right. So Babs says she's ready for
great
something from the pool of possibilities. So I'm going to allow this to be what it is. And it is, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to go back to the other camera. Oh, we're doing this. So I'm just going to overlay this here. This is the Nine of Cups, fulfillment. So that's really beautiful. The Nine of Cups, it is like, it's often known as the happiness card. It's like all of your cups are full, and it is the nine, which is, it's a place of completion. So I'm curious, Babs, if you want to share if that means anything to you, that card. What is being fulfilled, that this is a time from the pool of starlight and possibilities to bring in fulfillment. I'll just leave that as a question for you. And Nikki says she's feeling ill, so she'd like a card to address that if possible. And I think I'm going to just clear, well, I guess I'll put the card for Babs. There's so many cards. I'll just take this one away for now. Put this over in the side. Fulfillment. Beautiful. And of course, cups are emotions, so we're right in that area of emotions. Emotional fulfillment. And for Nikki, this is interesting. So this is the Two of Pentacles. Oh, and I forgot, before I do this, Gretchen, did you have any other thoughts for Babs on fulfillment?
Yeah, the Nine of Cups card is really beautiful. It's often considered to be one of the most auspicious cards in the actual numbered cards. And it's a blessing. It blesses your path with good fortune and happiness and well-being. And it is about divine love as well. And it means you are completing a cycle of deep understanding, healing, and transformation. So I don't know if that resonates with Babs or not.
Well, as you were saying that, she responded, she says, love it. thanks. My cups feel full and to pursue what I've been led to. So it does resonate. And it often is, I think, having a card that is just like a validation. It's like, yes, what you're sensing is true. That's
Yes,
good.
absolutely.
So for Nikki, we have balance, which is interesting. Two of Pentacles. So this is the Earth sign. So it is like balancing what's happening in your world, in your in the earthly realms. And I guess you could just consider what that means to you. Often it's shown as a being who's balancing, doing a balancing act. And maybe it feels like something is out of balance, but just to allow yourself to flow more into that place of just feeling in balance with all that is. And with the earth, inviting the earth also to provide healing. That comes to me for whatever reason. Just receiving the love from Mother Earth now to support you in healing. Gretchen, any sense of?
Yeah, just want to add to that, the Two of Pentacles is about balancing the inner and outer world. So it's about your inner earth and it's about your outer earth. And it's also about having things, basically you're in a time of needing to be flexible, essentially, because balance requires a lot of flexibility and resiliency. And so it can basically help you juggle, like Jane was saying, juggle things at several things at one time, but it also brings that energy of balance in. So sometimes, illness can be a way of balancing what's going on in our lives, and it's temporary, it's transient, it's temporary. So, we're not sick forever, fortunately. But yeah, so it could be just reflecting on your life, both your inner world and your outer world right now, and breathing in that energy of balance that's coming to you, because it is coming to you. That's what this card means. It's coming.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. And Bab's going back to her reading. She says, and to embrace the fullness and not to doubt it. Right. And that,
it's important.
Right. That's part of all of these. I think all of this too is really with that maturity. I think there are parts of us, Philip and I were talking about this last night. There are parts of us that are never going to stop doubting.
Right.
As far as I can tell. And they're made to do that. It's kind of like they're made to be doubters. But the question is, when is it appropriate to listen to them? And when do we decide to follow more the callings in our hearts?
Right.
Because we're always going to have those doubts like, well, how can you trust that whole intuition thing? You might be it just might be complete fantasy. All of this might be complete fantasy. That would be, there's probably some part in each of us that would say that. And yet there is a reality beyond the one that we're living in now that is more inclusive, that is where there is starlight. It is real, and we have to find what that truth is for ourselves. Interesting. It's also fascinating, and it is really what is spiritual intelligence. It brings back that question, like, how can we determine the truth of our magnificence or any of the things that we've talked about, other than maybe to feel it in our hearts? So that's been beautiful. Any final thoughts before we go into closing thoughts, Gretchen?
I just love how these cards all actually interplay with each other, even though everyone, even though Babs and Nikki had probably specific questions in mind when they were asking for a card reading. So I think it's beautiful though, because I take a lot from this too. I could definitely bring more balance into my life. And feeling worthy and feeling like I am at a stage of completion. There, we all have those things, we're always starting new things and ending things, and that's just a part of life, and it doesn't always work with the moon cycles. It's okay. So I think these cards, and then Two of Pentacles, it's more stars. You're bringing more stars into this again. So I think that's lovely. How
Right.
that
Yeah,
imagery
that's
is still
interesting.
kind of validating, continuing to validate essentially the reading. So
Yeah. Yeah, there are a whole lot of stars around here.
yeah, absolutely.
And of course, the cups
Absolutely.
are, of course, this is the Moon and Stars Tarot, which is great. You welcome a lot of starlight. We did get it.
We got it.
Yeah. And thank you all. Thank you, Gretchen. So would you like to, Gretchen, share with viewers what you're up to and how they can connect with you? What's going on in your world?
Sure. I'm actually I am having a energy healing practitioner training I'm offering this summer, and I'm doing that in person here in Virginia, in Central Virginia. And people can also reach out to me. I'm doing live retreats right now, in-person retreats as well in Central Virginia this summer. And people can reach out to me here on Facebook under Gretchen Comer, or my business Spiral Journey Holistic Life Services. That's my page. But if you visit my website, I have a lot of free things that you can engage with. And I love connecting with people. I'm a people person, so I love connecting with people. And yeah, people want to reach out or have questions, I'm happy to connect.
Wonderful. Thank you. So for Awakenings Institute, we're doing something, Philip and I are doing something new. Next Friday, we're going to have a Miracles card reading happy hour. And we're inviting 8 people. The first 8 people, it will only sign in 8 people. I don't think Philip has put it out to anyone else yet. So if you think you might be interested, I would check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to give you a tiny URL just because it's easiest. And then when we're done, I'll put in the full URL. So we have tinyurl.com/spiritual happy hour. So we're going to, much as we did today, open to magic miracles, we're going to do readings. Everybody will get an individual reading, questions answered, and just have a really good time together. So some final thoughts on how you can support Soul Awakenings. It is from Awakenings Institute and Gretchen, of course. You can follow our page on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel, wherever you are. You can share this video with your friends, and you can invite your friends to join you here next week. It's generally, we find it fun and enlightening, and something that you might have give you something to talk about afterwards too. It certainly gives me something to think about. It's been really magical.
So you all have a really nice YouTube channel too, right?
Yeah, we're just developing the YouTube channel, and all of those links should be actually in the notes for this podcast. The last thing we do, and actually I should have switched back my video. I'm still at my cards. So I can say goodbye in person. The final thing we do is just send all the love and light that we've collectively gathered, all the starlight, everything. Just send it forward to the week ahead as you also open, as Gretchen was suggesting. Now we're moving into that active phase of bringing this to fruition, whatever it is that we're opening to. So just imagine that love and light flowing through your whole week ahead, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time too. So have a wonderful week. See you again soon.
Bye.